Some of the recommendations for equitable assessment policies listed in the articles include having low stakes assessments that focus on providing students with feedback, substantive feedback that can improve skills. They should be frequent and informal, focused on engaging students, so using assessments as an engagement tool with school, whether it be through an online medium or as we get back to regular in person learning. Having regular meetings with scholars structured into elements of your classroom practice and or the school day is also a suggestion. If you offer students an opportunity to meet, often if you leave it to them, they don't show up. If you build it into a regular structure of your classroom practice, such as conferencing, or the school structure, such as the sport room model or after school tutoring, you ensure that scholars meet with the people they need to meet with to get the help they need to be effective in their classes. And you can use the assessment feedback to inform the practice and the work in the support room model and or after school tutoring. Also, the articles suggest that we get creative, incorporate student choice, offer a menu of assessment options, and allow students to show what they learned in a multitude of ways. Those 4 points really hit home with me because I teach a class that's really dedicated to engaging scholars with school. One of the pieces of advice was ask students how they'd like to show you what they mastered the content. Well, in the hip hop course that I teach at East High School, we actually allowed students to create the content itself and show us how they're going to demonstrate their mastery of content. It was completely student developed. Students surveyed peers. They proposed the course to the school. They wrote a curriculum arc. They created assignments and assessments and 4 whole unit outlines. So we consistently get feedback from the students on the course. So we go all sorts of directions with it. We work collaboratively with them to design what we're going to do. And we connect scholars with interests and community resources out in Rochester. Rochester is really rich with community experts in the hip hop field. So connecting people with their community and community with the school has been really effective. So the first advice: get creative, right? It doesn't matter if you're teaching hip hop or U.S. history or science. There are always opportunities to spend some time to get creative in a highly engaging way. So coming right back off of COVID, we were able to engage students who are really struggling with some attendance issues to be in school every day. We thought about what would engage kids the most, and hip hop was a really easy go-to. We build up to a final performance at the end, which is kind of like our end assessment. But we have many assessments, including auditions and coaching cycles along the way to our final performance. But the curriculum is really meant to be liberating for students, feeling a sense of freedom in the choices that they get to learn about a content that's highly engaging. Offering a menu. So for all of these assignments, we offer a menu of options to show mastery of content. So we do a favorite artist project. They created the hip hop genealogy, and I'll show you some examples of that. We did the graffiti wall. We have an annual showcase that's coming up June 9th, if anyone wants to go. Partner with local hip hop artists. We go on some field trips to see graffiti. We learn about the roots of African culture, as that was one of the things scholars really wanted to dive into, the roots of African culture as they emerged out of COVID and we're trying to re-engage with historical thinking in a meaningful way. We produced a school-wide talent show at the halfway point of the year, and we even break dance in class. But this is an example of the favorite artist project and the multitude of choices that students picked. This can easily be used for any sort of biography assignment, whether it be in English or social studies. It's really a humanities multi-genre biography project where students create a cereal box that demonstrates their knowledge of a figure. In this case, their favorite hip hop artist currently. Creating the genealogy of hip hop through Instagram templates. We created an Instagram wall that showed the history of hip hop. Can easily do this with really anything in your curriculum webs. Have students master part of the curriculum web or part of an essential knowledge in a class, and you can have a visual of your learning throughout the course of the year right in your classroom. Even creating choice in daily assignments. So song of the day is something we do every day to work on student writing, and we give regular feedback on that student writing, where students respond to talk about the social and political issues that are mentioned in hip hop songs. So giving choice, like Tupac has a multitude of songs that include references to social and political issues. So scholars had a choice of 10, so they got to pick the song that they really liked the most and write about it. Supporting claim with evidence and going to a level of analysis. So for example, if we were to do an arc of learning that's trying to engage scholars, we learned about different styles of graffiti. We created our own graffiti tag names. So we learned about like where those come from. And then there was a writing component as well, where scholars were writing a claim-based paragraph centered around the question, is graffiti vandalism? They interacted with 4 texts where they text coded for evidence that graffiti is vandalism or evidence that graffiti is not vandalism. They wrote a claim, they gathered their evidence, and they wrote an argumentative paragraph. So in this argumentative paragraph, a scholar who's now much more engaged with the content because it's student driven and much more engaged with the concept of graffiti after doing the graffiti mural, wrote about and supported her claim that graffiti isn't vandalism because of what it means to her, using evidence in the text and evidence from things that have gone on in her community. As we know, COVID has disproportionately affected communities of color, and engaging with classes like hip hop or content in a different way is really just a history class. We're able to engage scholars and teach essential skills that can lead to success down the road. And it's non-threatening and provides continual feedback cycles.